Hello, everyone. My name is Valdrin, and I'm the senior analyst for BeInCrypto. So, as always, with me today we have Konstantin, who is our global trader. And today we're just going to talk about the crypto market in general, basically to determine if we are bullish right now, if we are not bullish. So, I will begin with sharing my screen. Okay, I'll actually share the total market cap first instead of just the. So I have like conflicting views on the total market cap because okay, firstly for the bearish one, we still have this descending resistance line right here. Now, I mean the fact that the line has been touched several times is, I guess, can be seen as a bullish sign because like obviously each time a line gets touched, the weaker it becomes. And we especially have had two successive touches in a very short period of time. So this bodes well for a breakout. But on the bearish side, we still do have this resistance right here. So basically, during the entire FTX fiasco, we had this massive decrease, which led to a new yearly low. And now that same, like, what is it, 840 billion area is now acting as a resistance. And yes, so we don't need this for now. The next thing, which is extremely bullish to me, is obviously this bullish divergence in the weekly RSI. I mean, I always pay attention to especially very long-term divergences. And yeah, this weekly one is pretty extensive, so I think it really could lead to something, but then again, I know like we haven't seen an upward movement yet, and obviously it's still below that horizontal resistance area. So yeah, that part is not clear. Then when we go to Bitcoin, we kind of have the same thing. I mean, I think we have okay. So in the case of Bitcoin, we did break out from the line, but the breakout wasn't ideal because the price fell afterward, and I guess you could say that it validated the line here as support. I mean, it kind of looks like a breakout and retest. And then, yeah, we still have this bullish divergence. So I mean, this does look good when you look at the diagonal levels. They do look pretty good, but in the case of Bitcoin especially, I mean, that's horrible. So if we somehow were to get some sort of a reclaim of this level, so something like this, then yeah, sure, we'd be bullish. But as of right now, I mean, we're trading below that 19,200 resistance, I guess, which was the top in 2017 and then turned to support before the breakdown. So yeah, I don't really have a very, very clear, let's say, outline for the future movement. But I'm leaning on bullish mostly because of the bullish divergences. But yeah, horizontal levels do not look good. Extremely oversold everything. So yeah, that's it on my side.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also a little bit indecisive right now, but usually I wait for confirmation because going long now seems like a gamble. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now. Yeah, I don't have much to say about the total market capitalization, so I would just jump to Bitcoin right now. So basically, I thought this morning we were gonna break this golden ratio resistance here at 7,200, but for now it seems like we will get a rejection there. So that's why it's good to always wait for the candle to close, never judge by the start of it. I also observed that many cases the candle starts bullishly and closes bearishly or the other way around. So it's mostly the other way of the starting. So basically, if we break that resistance, I think we could go to the 50-day EMA here. There's also a fib level, so around 7,500 to 800 would be the next resistance. If we face rejection right now, probably head towards the 0.382 fib support at 16,560, or we could also go as low as the golden ratio support at 16,100 roughly. But MACD lines are still crossed bullishly in a daily chart, and histogram is basically ticking bullishly higher and bearishly lower. So yeah, it's really indecisive. I mean, you could still like trade a breakout of that. Still have a upside potential of roughly, I'm gonna remove the magnet here. Yeah, 4% until we face major resistance. So it's not much room. Towards the downside, there's around 2.6 to 5%, and yeah, that's just not a great setup right there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for a clear break. And judging on the weekly chart, I mean, we had a pretty bullish week last week. Now this week seems to be bearish, or at least it starts bearish again. But MACD lines are still crossed bullishly since August, basically. And then also the histogram of the MACD is ticking bullishly higher. But it really doesn't look convincing to me. There's no bullish confirmation. So I don't know what to do here, to be honest. I'm leaning not even fully bearish. I'm not fully bullish. I'm just waiting for a clear direction. I mean, we are still in a major downtrend. There's no trend reversal. The only bullish thing, in my opinion, is the upticking histogram of the MACD, because it has been a great indicator for the end of bear markets for Bitcoin. And we are also kind of in this falling wedge pattern where we could break out bullishly. But other than that, I mean, we could still go sideways or trade sideways for a couple of months, go as low as the last low. And if we break that, we surely can go to 10,760 range to 13,880. So this would be the next major support here, in my opinion. And even 6,000 would be possible once we break that level, because that would be the next major support. And Ethereum basically faces rejection at the fib resistance right now. So I can also open it with the candlestick chart. So yeah, we're facing major resistance at the 50-day EMA right now. So we got rejected once, a second time, and now a third time. But we didn't get like a heavy dump. So I don't know. You can clearly see that the bears and bulls are fighting hard on this. But if we get a clear rejection there, probably head towards the fib supports here at 1,220 and 1,150. So those two levels could be potential entry points for a long setup. But then again, I mean, we face major resistance at around 1,300. And if we break that level, we have roughly, yeah, let's say 13% upside potential. And for now, we surely have roughly 3 to 8% downside potential. So yeah, that could be actually kind of a good trade if you consider those support levels as entry levels. But then again, we don't have bullish confirmation. We have a bullishly crossed MACD lines of the in the daily chart, and we also have some upticking histogram, but then basically it starts to tick bearishly lower now. So yeah, it's really indecisive for me. I'm more bullish on decentralized exchange token like GMX. We had a clear breakout here, although not fully established yet, because you see we're still at that level kind of, but yeah, a couple days ago we definitely closed above that level. We are also above the all-time high daily closes, so there's roughly like 26% upside potential until we reach a new all-time high, which would be pretty nice. Also, it's still sitting at a very low market capitalization, so GMX has a lot of upside potential, especially if we have some more bearish news on centralized exchanges, definitely fueling the narrative or the need for decentralized options. And GMX also offers leverage, so this is kind of really innovative. But yeah, we didn't clearly break it yet, so let me show you the next support level. So basically could retrace down to $46, I guess, so could be a potential trade entry point, especially as it would be a retest of the broken resistance. So actually that could be a pretty cool opportunity. But yeah, let's see. Let's wait a few days. I mean, not trading is also a trade, right? Yeah, that's really cool to consider that you don't always have to trade, right? So I don't know. We still have like 20 minutes left. Valdrin, do you have anything to add on here?
Well, not to the coins you outlined, so thanks for that. Obviously, very extensive analysis. Okay, maybe I'll just add. So, in the short term Bitcoin, I mean, this basically goes in line with what you said. So, why I think this move definitely does look bearish in the short term. So I don't like obviously giving precedence to the short term instead of the long term chart, but this one does look extremely bearish. So I'm making an exception here. Okay, so three main things. So the first, obviously, this channel, which does look bearish. The second is the rejection from the resistance line of the channel, created a massive long upper wick. And then we had a slightly higher high. So basically this move here kind of looks like a stop hunt to me. I mean, it just barely broke the highs and just crashed afterward. And then we have some bearish divergence here. And yeah, so what I'm seeing is that it failed to reach the resistance line of the channel during its second upward movement. It did a stop hunt in the first one and a massive long upper wick, and then it generated bearish divergence in the RSI. So now, if it breaks down from the channel, I think it easily moves to the support line and potentially breaks down. Sorry, and like Konstantin said, probably goes to the golden ratio support right here. Also, the wave count to me supports this because this. So we seem to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which could be a diagonal, but what really gives it away to me is this 4 here, which is a triangle. Now, wave 4s are very often triangles, and I'm actually gonna go into detail about this in Wednesday's video, which we're doing for the members of the premium community. So it's gonna be Elite Wave, more advanced Elite Wave, because I also did the Elite Wave last week. But basically, since we do have this triangle here at the position of where wave 4 should have been, sorry, then it just to me like supports the possibility that this does break down. And we also have the perfect subwave count for the triangle. But okay, so leaving that behind, what does look less bearish to me is the USD dominance. I mean, I don't always use this, but I think it's interesting to sometimes take a look at it. And this looks like unbelievably bearish to me, like one of the most bearish looking charts I'm seeing, because we do have this massive bearish divergence on the weekly, which does align pretty well with the bullish divergences we're seeing throughout the rest of the crypto market, and then large caps like Bitcoin. So maybe this somehow leads to breakdown. But then on the other hand, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance rate, this looks like it's going to break down actually. So what this would mean is that Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin most likely. I mean, it's barely holding on to the support area right here. So the bullish divergence trend line has not been broken, and it does seem like BTCD wants to go down. And then I guess since I'm looking at dominances, the ETH dominance, I'm assuming, this looks exactly like the ETH BTC chart, in which I'm bullish. Like I think I, I have charted this a lot previously. Well, basically, I mean, it still sure has this resistance here, but I do think it breaks out mostly because the RSI broke out from its better divergence trend line. And then we have this also same breakdown here, breakout, sorry. And okay, no, I'll do that. So I'll just pass it to Konstantin here, and then I'll just look at a few indices which are more traditional finance like. So after that, yeah, I guess we'll complete the stream.
All right, yeah, then I will share my screen once again. So what I consider fairly bullish right now is Litecoin. But then again, I'm not really convinced because once Bitcoin breaks out bearishly, I don't really see Litecoin flourishing. So, but let's pretend Bitcoin is going sideways or not, or maybe moving up. Because Litecoin shows some pretty strong upward movement here. Because to be honest, I expected a retracement, basically from here. I mean, we almost touched it, but quickly recovered, and now we are even higher than here now. So Litecoin basically went from 47 to 85 in a couple of days. And we are almost having this golden crossover in the daily chart. So Litecoin looks solid to me. MACD lines are still bullishly crossed, but then we have that potential bearish divergence here. So I don't know how far we might move here, but I expect a pretty steep correction once we have that retracement confirmation, once we have that bearish confirmation formed. I mean, this could still be invalidated and we don't have this bearish confirmation, but basically what would happen is that the RSI has to move a lot, so price has to move a lot. So maybe if we move to the next, maybe if we because since we already broke that resistance level, we could actually target the $100 mark. And I mean, that's still like a lot of upward potential, and for that the RSI might, or the bearish divergence on the RSI might be invalidated, but also might be formed. So we will see. Usually I would definitely expect like a rejection at that level here, so bearish rejection here, and then we could basically target the big fib supports from the yearly low. So basically we could go to 77 or 60, 63, something like that. But what I also acknowledged here is that you can see that we established this yearly low in June, and a lot of altcoins or even Bitcoin formed a new yearly low. Litecoin didn't form a yearly low, so Litecoin looks way bullisher or way more bullish than a lot of other altcoins right now. And basically those are my bullish picks for the moment, GMX and Litecoin. Ethereum is really weird for sure, and if you look at others, in Ripple, yeah, it's not really convincing. I think Cardano will also be rejected soon. I mean, it's very little volatility, and Cardano even reached a new all-time low once again. So there's a comment if we could give an update on the Tesla stock. Well, for sure. So let's look at it. To be honest, I didn't look at it for quite some time, but yeah, so from what I can see here is we had the 50-month EMA support, but this month seems to be bearish. Histogram of the MACD is still ticking bearishly lower and continues to tick bearishly lower, and we didn't touch the FIB resistances here. So we will soon reach significant support for sure. So this is kind of positive here. But other than that, I don't know. Doesn't look bullish to me, to be honest. I think we will continue this downward parallel channel here and basically reach down to the support zone, which is still like a downside potential of 20%. And as usual, I expect a bounce from here because it's a pretty good support zone. But other than that, we don't really have big support zones, I guess. I mean, Tesla could definitely break down tremendously. It's a very hyped up stock. It resembles a pump and dump. It looks like crypto and Elon Musk is involved. So yeah, I mean, I think he even said it himself many times. He thinks Tesla is overvalued, and it totally looks like that. I think we definitely have that trend reversal since we hit the all-time high and probably heading low for the next few months. So I don't really see how we will recover here very soon. But yeah, still like golden ratio support here. I think it's in the same support zone. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely still a good price level to get a decent bounce. But as you can see, we actually perfectly bounced from the golden ratio support level here already. And then we face rejection for now. So more than 20% might be not in here for Tesla. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe Valdrin, you can add some on Tesla because yeah, it looks like that it continues its downward trend.
No, actually, to be honest, I agree with you. I don't really have anything else. Like on more, I mean, I was looking at a few indices before and it didn't seem that bad, but what was okay, I'll share it. So what was interesting to me was the correlation is moving again. Okay, so first of all, is this log or normal? Okay, it's normal. So what I'm seeing in the S&P is this really big bullish divergence here, and okay, I want to find a chart which has more data. I mean, this, okay, it's actually easier to see divergences here. I just want to note how rare the bullish divergence is. Basically, we had one here in the 2015 dip. And I mean, there are no others if you look at this time frame. I think, actually, and now we have one here, obviously, now. And I'm pretty sure that there was one during the actual recession in 08. Let me see if I'll find something which has data that goes all the way to 08. This doesn't, never mind. But yeah, you kind of get the point that bullish divergences don't really occur all that often. And then we have It's still at resistance, but I'm assuming it eventually breaks out from here in the long term. So that would bode well, even though in the short term, it looks like it might get rejected soon. Even though it moved above the 618. But what looked interesting to me is the correlation to Bitcoin. So I mean, it's usually been pretty positively correlated with Bitcoin. So as you can see, it goes up to 0.94, and then that all changed during the FTX crash. So honestly, this just makes me think more and more that it was just a black swan event, and now it's moving back again. So now it's positively correlated. Now, sadly, that's occurring on a downward movement and not an upward bomb, but I don't know, like it could find support here and everything go back to normal, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, still, we have some obviously conflicting signs. Okay, so there's also a question about Matic. Okay, we don't need the correlation anymore. I'll just say Polygon from now on because I have no idea whether to say it's problematic. But let me just see on a slightly lower time frame right here. Okay, so it did break out from the resistance line, but it didn't actually go anywhere. I mean, I'd say I'm bearish just because it's trading in the channel and seems to be ready to move down in the lower portion of the channel. But honestly, again, I don't have a very clear read on the market right now. So I'd rather just not take any positions. But if I had to definitely pick one, I'd say it's bearish because it was rejected by the channel and because it is falling in the lower portion of the channel.
Yeah, I think the current market feels really strange. Normally, you have a strong, clear direction. For me, it's a little bit almost, I don't know. It feels like the bottom is close. There is a potential of a trend reversal, but then there's this huge elephant in the room. Nobody really knows how much bankruptcies will follow, how many bankruptcies will follow. So yeah, we will see. I would be cautious right now. You don't always have to have an open position, and we will see how it goes. I mean, for now, recession didn't hit us as hard as I would expect, so could be coming in the future. Yeah, and crypto is definitely risky right now, I think.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, I guess this would be the stream for today. We're closing in on 30 minutes. So I think we had more viewers right now than last time, actually. And we had a few questions. Obviously, we always appreciate them. And yeah, I'm guessing then since there are no more questions, this was the stream for today. Thanks a lot for joining to those that did, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Thank you very
Have a nice
much,
day,
guys.
everyone.
Bye bye.